How's it going, everyone? John here. Welcome to another Destiny 2 video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about your character and slightly going over the inventory just a little bit. This is not going to be a really in-depth video because there's so much that you can do with your character. It's just to kind of give you a rundown and understanding about your character, the weapons, and just to kind of get you a little bit more acclimated with it. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at some of the other videos that I've talked about with Destiny 2 for beginners, be sure to go ahead and take a look at the playlist in the card above, as well as the link in the video description below. So we're going to go ahead and open up our character here, and on the very top left, you're going to have your subclasses. So there's going to be three. You're going to have your Solar, then you're going to have Void, and Arc. But then if you complete Beyond Light, you're going to have Darkness as well. So there should be a total of 4 once you complete Beyond Light. You'll have your kinetic weapons, you'll have your energy weapons, power weapons, ghosts, and then astral alignment if you're part of Season 15. With your kinetic, this is going to inflict damage without using any sort of elements. So these guys are considered elements. So the Solar, Arc, and Void, and Darkness. Now your energy weapons are the complete opposite. They are going to actually use the elements that I just mentioned. Then you have your power weapons, which are going to be very sparing on the actual ammo you're going to get for it. So you're not going to have a lot of ammo when it comes to the heavy or power weapons or whatever. But they do a crazy amount of damage, and that's why they don't give you a lot of it. Your ghosts, there's different benefits to each ghost, so it just matters on what kind of ghost you want to do and what kind of upgrades you want to do for the ghost when you go in there. So like, for example, if I wanted to go in here, I can use my Glimmer to be able to increase the XP gained by 2%. And then I can add in stuff like this if I wanted to. And these are all different types of modifications. But I won't get into too much detail on that in this video. Don't want to scare you guys away yet. Now, over here on the right-hand side is going to be all your armor pieces. So helmet, gauntlet, chest armor, and then leg armor. And then whatever type of class you have, you should have a different type of mark. So mine's a Titan, so I have a Titan mark. And then if you're part of a clan, then you have that type of stuff there too. And the armor is a little tricky because it's got this right here. So this is a little tricky to explain. I'm going to have to brainstorm to make this a little bit easier to understand. But I'll make a separate video just for understanding this and how to really optimize that and everything. So, but your power is going to be the main thing too, because like whenever you're going through different destinations, there's going to be a certain recommended power, and your power is only part of the equation, because this right here also matters. Because if you have really weak armor, regardless of your power, you're still going to get smacked, and it's just not going to be fun. So you have to find some type of balance on what you want to do, and I'll explain this in another video. Above all that is going to be different types of currencies. So Glimmer is going to be used for, as you saw down here with the ghosts, it's going to be used for certain upgrades, and you'll also use it for bounties and stuff like that. You'll get that by going and completing just random stuff in the game, whether it's just, farming enemies and just looking for different chests and stuff like that. So Glimmer is not that hard to obtain. And then you'll have your legendary shards. So legendary shards, you have to dismantle legendary or exotic quality items. And that is going to be either going to be armor or it's going to be weapons. So on this right here, this is a legendary helmet. And you'll know it's legendary because 1, it's purple, and 2, it says legendary. Blue is going to be your rare. And then yellow is your exotic, and then white is going to be your common, or gray is going to be your common. So when you dismantle that, then it will give you a little bit, and it goes towards the legendary shard count, which is right here. Silver is you spending real-world money, and then bright dust is by completing bounties and other special reward sources and stuff like that too. So that's all about that. Now, when you're wanting to see like the stats of something. So like if I'm looking at this, I don't want to keep going left, right to kind of compare. So for console, I believe it's holding down a trigger, but for PC, hold down E. And what it's going to do is, one, it's going to open up a whole separate window on the right-hand side of your currently equipped weapon. And this will also do the same thing for your armor pieces. So when you have this open, you can see like what precision frame is, what the auto loading holster is, and so on and so forth. That way you can kind of get a good idea. It also shows you what its current power is and what the season power cap is. Now it doesn't have a power limit though, it has a seasonal power cap though. So this could potentially go even beyond once we get to the Witch Queen. And then you can do the same thing with all these guys. See how I'm doing this? The same thing with all of the armor pieces. Now for another thing with PC and also with console, I think it's also trigger. If you hold down Q and you go over to one of the ones that is not equipped, you can then compare and contrast the stats between the two different weapons. Same thing with your armor pieces. So if I was to go over here to armor, I can compare and contrast the armor. And that way you can kind of tell what you want to do with your armor pieces. So that is pretty much it for that. Now inventory, there's so much consumable stuff here. This is really just good to kind of see like what you have of something. And that way you kind of know if you have to go farm for any of it. But if there's anything in here that you guys have any questions about, I can make another video on it. There's just so much stuff in the consumable that I would be here for a bit. Engrams, these are important. Anytime you see any of these on the field, whether they're blue or purple, purple's a good ones. If you see yellow, you definitely want the yellow. But any of these engrams are important because they contain random stuff. So it could be a weapon, it could be an armor piece, it could be some type of consumable possibly. So there's different things you can get in them. They're always random, but you get them just for playing the game and by collecting them. Now, you can also use these for different types of challenges, which is a whole nother video on its own, but these ones are good to bring over to the Cryptarch, the guy that can actually like give you something for them. So those are good. If you ever get like a rainbow clear one, that one's going to be for Eververse for the store. But that is pretty much it when it comes to the character and a little bit of the inventory. I didn't want to go into too much. I mean, you got some modifications here, but I didn't want to go into too much detail on here. One last thing though, if you hit S or the little arrow to go down, you'll have your emblems, sparrows or vehicles, ships, emotes, different finishers, and then you can also customize. I'll go into more detail on this in another video too. Oh, one last thing before I actually end this video for you guys. Inside of the subclasses, totally forgot to show this to you. Inside the subclasses, you can go and customize this. So like if I wanted this one to go with this one, or if I wanted to go this way with it, where I can throw a hammer, or if I wanted to go that route with it, you know, you can adjust these however you want. I personally just like using the hammer. But you can go through all of these and just adjust them however you want. You know, there's really no right or wrong way for them. It's just your own play style. But yeah, that is officially everything that I wanted to show you guys for character and inventory before getting into more of the advanced stuff with it. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.